And now, time for weekly show with a passionate India lover, chairman of ITV Gold and Parikh Worldwide Media. Get ready for loving sharing from physician, philanthropist, publisher, and India advocate in This Week.
Welcome to This Week with Dr. Sudhir Parikh. Renowned for his medical expertise and astute observations on global affairs, Padma Shri recipient Dr. Parikh joins us to delve into recent developments shaping our world. Today we'll explore politics, conflicts and cultural milestones. Dr. Parikh, thank you for being with us.
Namaskar. Namaskar everyone.
My first question is, the tragic shooting at Appalachia High School in Georgia today has once again thrust gun control and school safety into the national spotlight. With such incidents becoming alarmingly frequent, how do you assess the effectiveness of the current gun control laws in the US?
I think current gun control law is kind of not perfect. It's a lot of defect in that, a lot of people misusing whole thing much more. There should be uniform federal law where there is a real background check of the person who buys the law. I mean, buys a gun, or even if it is child, then or minor, then parents should be responsible for that kind of shooting. And of course, other thing is a kind of psychiatric problem with the children or young minors or even adult, and that psychiatric situation should be taken care of. Because of that mental instability of the person or child, they use this gun. And they have to have metal detector in the school. There should be a more somehow security and cameras in the school to detect this kind of thing.
They have been talking about the metal detectors for the longest time, but nothing has been implemented. Also, do you think this will become like one of the main topics in the debate?
Yes, but I think unfortunately large portion of the country believes in the Second Amendment, and the Second Amendment means they have right to bear the gun or bear the weapon, and I think that is very difficult to change that amendment because it's a constitutional amendment. But there should be a strict background check. There should be enough punishment to both person who does this kind of crime, if the person, and plus one should also give them help if they are mentally have a problem, because they are the one who, or those who are on the drugs, those are the one who does this kind of offense.
Very true. There have been growing concerns about the recent political unrest in Bangladesh, particularly with Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina fleeing to India amidst the chaos. What are your thoughts on the current situation in Bangladesh, and what role do you think India should play in addressing the crisis?
Well, I think situation in Bangladesh is, of course, is an internal situation. We do not have complete facts about that, what happened, but it was happening for last 4 to 6 months, the unrest. And unrest got bigger and bigger, and then because according to the protester or those who were unresting against President Hasina, they are saying that President is getting more autocrat and kind of arrogant and was not listening, out of touch with the people of the country.
Do you believe that?
Well, it's possible sometime, but we don't know because we don't know the facts. But the fact is that economy was going downhill, inflation was going up. I think, according to them, that there were a lot of high unemployment in the young population. And so these are the thing which made all the young people came out on the street. And but again, option to Hasina is also not good, because the other party is very fanatic and very may bring the or may take the whole country into the kind of retro years. So it's not a good idea. But let's see what happens. This new prime minister, ad hoc prime minister, he has a good reputation personally, and he has done a lot of good work. He's a Nobel laureate. Right. So hopefully he can bring the whole country out of the crisis. And what India has as a neighbor, India has to have good relation, trading relation, and people to people relation has to be good, because we are neighbors. So always it's a dictum that you must be good to your neighbor, and neighbor should be good to you.
True. But what about Pakistan? You know, their regimes keep changing, and they are our neighbors too. If it is a military rule, should we even honor them, or even, have a good relationship with them?
Well, Pakistan again, it's a kind of lost cause, and there everything is so chaotic. And as you say, that democracy is namesake there. It's not real democracy. And it's all kind of monitored or kind of controlled by the army. Right. And so I think it's an unfortunate thing, because that kind of chaos does not help us, because we want a good relations with all the neighbors, including Pakistan, Nepal, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, China, everybody.
The recent escalation in the Middle East, particularly with rising tensions between Israel and Iran, has led to increased military activity and diplomatic efforts. How do you assess the current situation, and what steps should be taken to de-escalate these tensions and ensure regional stability?
I think I personally believe that this Hamas-Israel conflict is going on for almost 1 year now. It's October again. We are in September. And I think majority of the Israeli public also wants some kind of ceasefire and some kind of, and bring all the whatever left hostages home. And because in Middle East, there is no, this kind of military conflict is no solution. So as American proposal says that get the immediate ceasefire, permanent ceasefire, get the hostages out, and then you sit down with both the parties and figure it out, two-state solution or whatever which can last permanently. Otherwise, this is going to repeat again, unfortunately, after a few years. That never-ending thing,
In light of recent reports on the humanitarian crisis in Gaza and the ongoing conflict, what role do you believe the international community should play in addressing the urgent needs of those affected and pushing for a sustainable resolution?
Well, I think United Nations is playing a very big role there. There are Doctors Without Borders also working there. But the whole thing is so in in big, out of hand and very chaotic, and it's an active war there, And because of the active war, even the people from the United Nations who are helping them, they come under fire and they got hurt and they got killed. So I think USA has to put the foot down and make sure that Israel government listen to them, because we are providing quite a big help to Israel. So we should have a good leverage on them. And I think after last incidents since last Sunday, there's a big protest going on in Israel everywhere. Even all the labor unions are on the strike, and there is a kind of literally whole Israel is kind of there is no business, everything is kind of shut down. So I think this is a time now. I think President Biden is kind of going to push for ceasefire, and hopefully it should happen.
The war should never have happened, I would say. And then there is so much of hate crime, happening to Palestinians here in US itself.
That's right.
Which
I
is
mean,
so shameful.
so this is never-ending game, So it's like one blames other and other blames, and whoever is in a kind of strong position in any area will hurt the other weaker group,
The upcoming US presidential debate is scheduled for September 10th. What key issues do you think will dominate the debate, and how should candidates prepare to address these topics?
I think there are probably two big issues. One is the immigration, and the second one is economics. So always, all the elections are economies always play a big role, and particularly right now, we have very high interest rate. Even though everyone is saying that we will have soft landing, but still they are afraid of recession, and it can happen. So I think that would be the two main key point about the election. And as we know that Democrats are a little more liberal towards the economy and kind of their immigration. There is a big disaster in the southern border.
True.
So I think and Trump is a strong policies and personality, but again he is also sometimes goes out of I mean, he speaks out of kind of cough and sort of so-called, and that's not very good for him either. So let's see. It will be interesting debate. There will be a lot of firecracker kind of debate,
The US Open is currently underway with several Indian players making notable performances. What are your thoughts on their achievements so far, and how do you see their chances in later stages of the tournament?
I think personally, I want Indian player to come up to the at least semi-final or final, but unfortunately, none of the Indian players is performing that well in at least last 20-30 years. So now I think last time I was impressed with there is a tennis
Mixed doubles.
Yeah, mixed double. I think they came all the way to final or semi-final, but I think individual players should come up, and I'm sure in India also there are good players, and India needs a little more. International training to get to this point,
True. The Paralympics are also attracting global attention, with Indian athletes showing remarkable performances. How do you view their achievements, and what does this mean for the visibility and support for para-athletes in India?
I think it's a great idea, because our kind of disabled children and adults, they are performing very well in the Olympic, and fairly well. And I think by participating in this kind of Olympics, I think gives a different perspective towards the disability. Because in India, we remember a few years ago, when we were in the college 40-50 years ago, disability was kind of condemnable, people were looking different way, and people were treating the disabled people differently. Society itself.
Yes.
So I think that whole change now, and by participating this kind of international game for disabled individuals, I think it gives a good message that doesn't matter how disabled you are, but you are as good a human being as other person.
Hopefully big brands can also sponsor them.
Right.
With the festival season beginning, what does the Ganpati celebrations reveal about the cultural and social dynamics in America today?
Well, I think now in America also, because our population is quite large now, 5 million of Indian Americans, and we all celebrate all this religious festival very seriously and very big way. So people know that Ganesh Chaturthi or Ganesh is a kind of symbol of good luck, and everything, all auspicious things starts from the worshipping the Ganesh, and then I think it's a good idea to celebrate this kind of festival, because that will empower our own second generation or third generation, and they can realize or they can appreciate the bonding of third or second generation to our kind of religion or our belief.
Very true. India's Chandrayaan-3 mission has recently achieved a significant milestone in lunar exploration. How do you view this achievement in the context of India's growing space capabilities, and what future international collaborations could this success lead to?
I think India's space program is very vibrant and very progressive, and I'm sure, as we know, that what India has achieved last year by reaching to the Mars with the least expense, right? So I think India has capability, and as time will go, India will be one of the very strong country to deal with. And I think this kind of science progress will give us so many advantage in different businesses and initiative.
With schools reopening for the new academic year, what are some key trends and challenges in the current education landscape? How can parents and educators support students effectively in this transition?
Well, I think most important part is that, of course, our school curriculums are good. They are very good, but only thing is all the parents must kind of keep an eye on their children, make sure that they do not go off the track and get into the kind of peer pressure and start using the vaping and smoking or drug using and so forth. Even I know that a lot of good students, those who are valedictorian, those are also get involved in this kind of thing in the school. So it's a very unfortunate thing. So it all depends upon how parents take interest in their children.
Thank you, Dr. Parikh, for sharing your invaluable insights into these pressing global issues. Before you give out this week's message, I want to remind our viewers that you can follow Dr. Sudhir Parikh on Facebook at Dr. Parikh, and you can also follow him on X on his handle Sudh Parikh. Over to you.
Well, dear friends, as you know that on 22nd September, our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Bhai Modi will be in the United Nations attending the General Body meeting. Also that day, on 22nd Sunday, there is a community function in NASA Coliseum. We are expecting at least 15 to 16,000 Indian Americans to welcome our Prime Minister and listen to his vision and his plan for next 5 years or 10 years of his regime. So please come and attend this program and be part of the history making. Welcome to NASA Coliseum on September 22nd. The admissions is free, so please try to be there. Thank you and have a good day, and we'll see you next week. Till then, goodbye.